Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Matthew. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a lot of things that are going on in the world. Some things that you can control, some things you can't. It is what it is. I know a lot of people talk about, oh my God, the world's on fire and the wars and the pandemics and all this crazy stuff. If that's all you listen to all the time, it's like hanging around a bunch of, drug addicts or people that think badly all the time. That's all you're going to think about. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be miserable, nervous, anxious, everything. Stop. Get away from people like that. If you have people like that in your life, get away from them. What my wife said, you don't talk to any of your friends, like back in high school. Most people that I talked to or hung out with aren't bettering their lives. They're not doing anything. So, I move on. Not everybody is supposed to be in your life forever. It is what it is. And as you can tell, I have kids. I have people who live above me. I live in an apartment. I have background noise. I'm not editing anything. I'm not trying to be the cool YouTube prepper person or anything like that. I don't want to be that person. A lot of those people I can't stand. I think they're a little, a lot of them talk out their ass. Some of them are pretty cool I listen to, but it all, I don't know, it's their vibe they give off, I guess. Like, a lot of them actually do what they're talking about, and that's awesome. And a lot of people are just so fucking stupid. I just can't watch them, man. That, or if I want a good laugh, I'll turn it on. But anyway, things that we're going to talk about is winter. Obviously, it's getting really, really cold. Money, finances, and all that. My personal opinions. War, not really. It is what it is. And how I feel about what's going on with the president. And not just him, but a lot of his acquaintances. And not so much. So we're going to talk about the weather. It's getting cold, obviously. And what can you do? Buy a wood stove. If you own your own home, buy a wood stove. It makes sense. Or a pellet stove. Or something. That'd be the first step. If you live in an apartment like me, you cannot get a wood stove for obvious reasons. I can't install a wood stove here. Things you can do are simple things like insulating your house, putting plastic on your windows, putting weather stripping in your doors. We put big blankets in front of the front door and the back door during the wintertime, and we put one in the hallway to break up all the rooms. It helps hold heat in. Simple things like that. You could light a couple candles here and there with the terracotta pot, and it might warm up a little section, but the most part, those don't really heat a room like you want them to, or that you just imagine, oh, it's going to be a little heater there. It doesn't work like that. They work in some regards, but it's not going to keep you from freezing. You have to do other stuff. You have to insulate your house. That's the main thing in winter, is insulating it. Drafts coming in through the windows and the doors are the biggest things that make your house cold. If you don't want a $400 electric bill like we usually have in the winter, you need to do stuff like that. Put carpet down if you have flooring. Just any layers. If you ever go outside, you notice if you wear one big puffy jacket, you don't stay very warm for long. You need layers. You could have 5 long sleeve shirts on and you stay a lot warmer than you do with a big ass jacket on. I mean, that's where heat is stored. That's how you keep heat in. So simple things like that, if it can help you. Plastic's not that expensive. Get some plastic and some tape, a couple big blankets. It's supposed to get pretty cold, and the fact that it's already down to like 20-30 degrees here in Virginia, it was the past couple of nights, and I think next week is supposed to be a little bit warmer, and the week after that it's supposed to get a lot colder. Be prepared for winter. Have food that you can cook, not even cook, that you can just eat out of a can if you absolutely have to. Or get a generator. Make sure you have fuel for your generator. Whether it's a solar one or a gas one like we have or whatever. Look into gasifiers if you're tech savvy and can build something like that. If the power goes out, they're talking about it. 25%, 30%, we could potentially lose power. What happened in Texas a couple years ago? What happens in California all the time? Everybody's on the electric now. Everything is electric. Everything is plugged in. The more people that plug in, the more people that come across the border and plug in, adds to it. That's the refrigerator. The more people that plug into our system, the weaker it gets. And it is already a weak-ass system. Our infrastructure in America is old. Like, very, very, very old. It wouldn't, whether it's a snowstorm, the wind blowing it over, some nefarious person, it wouldn't take much to freeze a lot of people. That, or if there's an EMP, it could, wipe out electricity. I don't necessarily rely on electric powered stuff or fuel powered stuff. I tried to do the caveman style one. Is a lot cheaper. You don't have to worry about fuel. You don't have to worry about electricity. It's just, in my opinion, it's easier and it's cheaper. So might as well do it. A lot of things that people buy, the gadgets and gizmos, are fancy and flashy and come with $1,000 price tag. I don't need all that, man. I don't think a lot of people need that. But yeah, keep your family warm this winter. It's gonna be cold. Do things with them inside. Learn to play board games and huddle in a room together. Just use your common sense. A lot of people don't have that anymore, and it's really, really frustrating. Financially, what's going on? I think everybody knows it. The dollar is, I don't even want to say slowly, it's collapsing pretty quick now. It's, the snowball effect, and the snowball's getting pretty big. If the money collapses, if you rent, you can't pay your bills. Hell, if you own a house, you can't pay your mortgage. You can't pay your taxes. With the central, was it the CBDC or whatever, you're going to be on that system whether you like it or not if you want to live in a house that is registered as a house. My suggestion, what I feel that I'm supposed to do, is just build a house off the grid and off the system to where you don't have to pay personal property taxes on it. I'm not saying evade anything, but it is what it is, man. Build a little cabin. It's a no-win situation that they're putting us in right now. You cannot do anything in this world without getting taxed, except for breathe. And coming to a point, you're going to have to start paying taxes on that too for carbon emissions. I guarantee it. A lot of this plays into the Bible, whether you believe that or not. It's getting to that point. It's not too far off, I don't think, to where you have to register. It's coming to a head, and Jesus died simply because he believed in God, and nothing could stop him from that. Not being tortured or anything. He could have easily lied and said, okay, yeah, I believe, blah blah blah. He stood his ground. And a lot of people anymore, they won't stand their ground on anything, whether it's getting shut up with something, or the fear of loss of your job, of your house, of your friends. You think about in school how much you've changed in school. You know what I mean? Like, people acted really weird in high school simply because they wanted to fit in. That sheep mentality of, well, everybody else is doing it, everybody else is smoking, everybody else is going to parties. I gotta fit in with everybody. Don't be that person, man. Stand your ground, what you believe in. You might look like the weirdo, you might look like the strange kid, whatever. If you're still in high school, don't be that person if you don't want to. If it doesn't feel right to you, if you're getting bullied for being you, fuck them, man. I don't know us to punch them. You know, stand your ground, stand up for yourself. You might get your ass kicked, you might not, but at least people are going to know. You know, I remember in school, these fake Crip kids were all blah, 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 and they were talking shit to this one emo dude. And they, you know, there was like 4 or 5 of them, and they thought they could bully him, I guess, or do whatever. And this dude stood up. He's like 6, 7 foot tall. He's huge, giant, long trench coat, long hair, you know. And he just got in the dude's face, little gangster kid's face, and started yelling at him. And they all shut up real quick, and they all sat down because all they did was bark and bark and bark, but they never did anything until they met somebody that was going to stand up for himself. And I laughed my ass off. Be that person, man. Stand up for somebody. A lot of people just get on their phone and record. Oh my God, look what happened. You could save somebody's life, you know, save somebody's, you know, just get somebody's respect. A lot of that just recording stuff is so stupid. Don't be that person, man. Stand up for people. But they financially, what I was getting at with that, sorry, I sidetracked. If money goes down, you're going to have a way to buy stuff. Whether you have gold and silver, or you barter and trade, or you get on the beast system, you're going to have to choose one of those. You cannot grow everything yourself. You can't. You can, you know, if you have a lot of land, you could grow a lot of stuff. There's certain things that you just can't produce yourself or grow. You're going to have to learn how to trade and be the gray man, I guess. On the other side of that, see, a lot of preppers just prep for the end of the time and all doomsday and beans and bullets and all that good stuff. I think of it as 2 ways. Keep your eggs in 2 different baskets, you know. The world could go to shit and you could lose everything and do that system we just talked about, or it could just be like this and get a little bit better eventually at one point. I don't know. I know I prep for both of them. I prep for bartering and growing my own food and as best I can where I'm at, and at the same time I'm building a business right now. I left my corporate job of 9.5, almost 10 years to start my own business about 5 months ago. Well, I made it last year, but I left the job about 5 months ago once it started building up. That way I don't have to worry about certain political things that you might have to do if you work at a corporation. I don't have to worry about getting fired or laid off because dumb shit happens. You know, I can work for myself and do things. And people need to do that. They need to start working for themselves or working for a small mom and pop. Because that's where America is. That's where, you know, freedom is. Be there with those people, like-minded individuals. That's where you need to be. You know, corporations, they don't move very fast. There's a lot of litigation. There's a lot of, you know, hoops to jump through to get promoted. Oh, I might get promoted in 10, 15, 20 years. And, you know, I got 3 weeks of vacation. 20 years later, you can take 3 weeks off out of a year and go do whatever. You can work for yourself and take off whenever you want. You know, I've been a lot happier. I've gained a lot more weight working for myself, being a lot happier. You know, do that. Be who you want to be and do what you want to do. If you want to flip burgers, fine, dude. You know, if you want to work on computers, do that. But just try to do it yourself. Make your own restaurant, you know. Just get out of the rat race and the system and make sure you can financially do it and support your family for yourself so you don't have to worry about, you know, getting fired from a job that you worked at for 40 years. There's too much stress involved with that, man. People get so accustomed to, oh man, I get $1,000 paycheck every week. I don't have to worry about it. I just gotta keep my head down, shut up, and do my job. That's not a life, man. That's miserable. That's terrible. You're gonna get one life on this earth, and you're gonna waste it doing something when you're 50, 60, 70 years old, broken down and tired. Yeah, man, I spent my career, and I can't do anything now because I'm about half dead. got a good pension though. Got, you know, you're gonna be old and have a little bit of money, and you're gonna be miserable. Don't be that person, man. Get out. That's why all these corporations are taking over. Is because people are just getting scared and lazy. There's no more, you know, entrepreneurs in the world. There's no more people taking risk. Everything's made overseas. All the customer care is overseas. Bring it back to America. You know, start making American made. That used to be something people were very proud of. Hell, even I think Walmart started with American made stuff. That was their big thing, is made in America, made in America. And you buy an American flag right now, it says made in China. How hypocritical is that? And it's sad. And people confuse nationalism with being like racist or, you know, whatever, Islamic phobia or whatever, dude. It's not that. You know, you can be proud of your country. It's the same thing with black and white people. You know, it's like, oh, black power, white power, oh, they must be racist. Like, no, like, stand up, you know, be proud of who you are. You know, if you're Chinese, be proud of being Chinese, you know, whatever. People, they get so afraid to have their own opinion anymore. You can't be proud of who you are, you know? Or they make up shit. You know, I'm a dog now today, or I'm a trans, alien, homophobic, you know, yellow person. Like, just stop making shit up. I watched a video earlier, it's funny, he was talking about how for, you know, hundreds of thousands of years, male and female was perfect for everybody. Nobody had a problem with it. Until today, where everybody is just, be whatever I want to be. It's not the people's fault. I get that. It's what's going on right now. There's a huge agenda going on right now with people being forced, not even forced, just being led to this singularity of nonsense. You know, the TV programming, and I'm going to do a video on this though, but so my brother was telling me about how karma works. I could punch you in the face and I would have karma. I could tell you I want to punch you in the face, and then I punch you in the face and I won't have karma. It's because I told you about it. A lot of these TV programs and movies and cartoons and shows and video games and all this are telling us what they're doing. They're literally telling us what they're doing. And because we watch it, it's you know, it's like the karma is taken away from them. And it's not them like people, it's the evilness, you know? There's a huge war going on right now between good and evil. Whether you believe it or not, whether you're Christian or, you know, spiritual or whatever, there's good and bad going on right now fighting. And it's not like, this is a whole nother tangent, but when I first started believing in God, even when I was a kid, when I thought about God, you know, I'm thinking of this like old white hippie dude with long hair, and the devil is this red dude with horns and a pitchfork. They're neither one of them is like that. God is happiness and just, and like the feeling that is what God is. He's a feeling. He is an emotion of goodness, of light. The devil wasn't some little red dude, you know, demonic dude with horns and shit. He is like the darkness, the negativity, your jealousy, your greed. It's all those things. That's why I talk about sin. Like, all those are the terrible ones. That's because those are like the devil. And, you know, not helping people. Stuff like that. What they're doing right now is leading us darker and darker and darker. And I don't know if we've crossed it yet. The crossroads, we're right there, man. We got to take a choice. We got to stand up for it or go down this terrible path. And it's not going to end well. In my personal opinion, nobody knows when Jesus is going to come back. Everybody agrees with that. And I don't think even he knows, because it's up to us. If that makes any sense. God, Jesus, whoever we think of, has given us the chance to make up for ourselves which way we're going to go. If we go down this path, it's coming back eventually. we could get out of it and go in the right direction. You know, it's like you're a parent and you're watching your kids fight. You watch it for a little bit to see if they can figure it out. They keep arguing, get madder and madder at each other. You let them go, you see if they can resolve their issue. They start screaming at each other and fighting, start hitting each other, doing terrible things. At some point, you're going to have to jump in. Okay, enough. That is enough. Stop. That's where God is with us. He's watching us. He's looking down at us, wanting us to make the right decision, wanting to figure this out for ourselves. We are His children, and He is watching us fight each other over nonsense, dude. Like, do you understand what kids fight each other over? That's my toy. That's my gold. That's my oil. You know, wars have been fought over girls and shit. We need to get away from that, man. We need to all come together. Whatever religion, race, whatever. I think God, if you believe in a God, any religion, there's a God. Now everybody has their own different, specs to it. But it doesn't matter how you get there. It doesn't matter if you want to think Jesus is the path to it or whatever. Even if you don't believe that, if you just believe there's a God and that is what He wants, it doesn't matter how you get there. We just all have to come together to do that, to be good children for Him, to do what God wants. Even if you're atheist, man, say there is no God. It's still good to be a decent human being. Even if you're atheist and don't believe in God, is it all about you? Is the whole universe around you? Or is it just around everybody's consciousness, everybody's soul? Everybody is put together. We're all together. We're all one. And we're all tangled off of it, man. We're all a bunch. It's like an octopus, and everybody is their own little foot or finger or whatever. But we all stem from the same body. We all come from the same place. Whether you believe it's God or Stardust or, the Big Bang, whatever, doesn't matter. We've all come from the same spot. Doesn't matter what you call it. And we're sitting there bitching about people. Somebody was saying something in a group I'm in on Facebook. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with, being sad and everything that's going on in the world? And I was thinking to myself, how do I deal with it? I think of my worst problem that I have, the worst problem that I could ever have in my life, or I've ever had, and even stuff that's going on day to day. And then I think about how big the universe is, and I compare my problem to the universe. Is my problem really that big compared to the universe, where stars and shit are blowing up? Black holes are being formed, entire galaxies are being destroyed, and I'm sitting here bitching because my truck broke down or something like that. Is my problem really that big? Nah, not really. If you take anything away from what I say, some random dude on the internet, take that life lesson. Compare your problem. Compare your financial struggles, your relationship struggles, anything in life. Compare that to how big the universe is. And does it really matter? It's not that I've given up on life or given up on being happy or anything. But shit happens, dude. Like, people die, people get sick, people have bad things happen to them every single day. I'm no different. You're no different. When I was younger, I was a very shy kid. I didn't like talking. Even now doing this, I still feel very awkward, weird, I guess, talking to a phone. And I never really wanted to talk out loud. Reading in class, stuff like that. Very shy. Couldn't find the words, kind of thing. I'm not great at doing this YouTube thing. I'm still trying and learning. And you get better with practice, so it is what it is. But when I started believing in God and praying and thanking Him and, asking for help, there was a point in my life I didn't know what to do. I had a good job, family, married and all that good stuff. It didn't feel right. And I started my business because a numerous amount of factors played into that. I wasn't happy mainly, and I was starting my own business, on the side just to do something different because I wasn't happy. It wasn't a money issue. I wasn't in trouble at work. And I talked to my wife about it. She said, we'll just, we'll figure something out if you want to leave and start your business full time. And that played a big factor into it, but over and over and over again in my head, it wasn't my wife's voice. It was the best way I know how to describe God is an emotion. Like that rings so true to me, is he is an emotion. And I heard the emotion in my head, just leave. Okay, I left. I started my business. I do that. I work 4 to 3 days. Sometimes it's all week. And I'm a lot happier. But it still didn't feel like I was doing the right thing. A while back, I kept passing this dude's house. And, I actually went and talked to him, but I talked to him about 3 weeks after I started hearing it. I kept going past his house on my route, doing my job. Go talk to him. Go talk to him. Go talk to him. What do you mean? Man, who is this? I haven't talked to this dude in since I was 15 maybe, and I'm 31, 32 next year. I haven't talked to him for 15 years. And I've only talked to him 3 or 4 times before when I was 15. He's a very religious, very nice guy, Andrew. I'll never forget it, man. Who is this guy I gotta go talk to? Every time I pass the road, and then, so his house, in the middle of his house, there's a giant beam. It came out of a 150-year-old church. And that was the image in my head. And then I kept seeing that. Go talk to him, and I seen the beam, and I thought about it, and I said, "Damn, that was Andrew's house, man. That was crazy." So, one week when I was on my route, I almost passed the road. I said, "Go talk to him." I said, "I'll do it next week, man." And something made me literally slam my brakes on me. I slammed on the brakes and I turned real hard and I went down the road. I said, "Oh, shit, okay, I guess I'm gonna go talk to him." And I went down past his house. He had a gate put up. I don't remember the gate being there. And I almost passed his house. In the corner of my eye, I saw his wife walking around the side of their house. I said, okay, that's a sign. So I went and talked to her for a little bit, probably 15, 20, 30 minutes, something like that. I talked to her. We talked about why I was there, and I couldn't really tell her. I said, man, I just keep hearing a voice saying, come talk to y'all. Or him. She gave me his number. We connected, and I've talked to him recently. He's invited me to church with him and praying and just talk about stuff. I talked to him. I went about 3 or 4 nights after that. I went and talked to him at his house when he had time to do it. And I explained to him what's going on in my head, what I've been seeing and hearing and feeling. And something for almost a year now is saying I need to build something. I have no idea what it is. But I remember in my head when I see it, it's like a cabin. And I see this big gust of wind come by, and it's me and my family are in the cabin, and all the trees are blowing over, man. I could see it, I have a 3D view of it from outside. I could see the wind blow everything over, and we're safe in this little cabin. For a while, because everything that's going on in the world, bombs and missiles and shit like that, I was thinking, God's telling me to build a bunker, or something like that. And, I still think about it. It could be that. But I feel like it's something different. I feel like I need to talk to more people about God. That's when I think about that, I feel better. I feel like that's the right path I'm supposed to do. And I'm not saying I know a whole lot about God, because I don't. I was 25, 26 maybe when I started actually reading the Bible somewhat and looking into it. I've always believed there's a God for the most part growing up, but I was not in a very religious family. Yeah, they believed in God, but they also did a lot of bad shit and didn't show me how you're supposed to live. And I sin. Everybody sins. Everybody cusses. Everybody does shit they're not supposed to do. Not saying I'm perfect. But I know in my heart that cabin that I'm supposed to build isn't to protect me from, a bomb in that sense, in an actual physical bomb. I think I'm supposed to build, maybe a church, maybe people around me that I'm supposed to connect with that can help me on a spiritual path. Maybe that's why they connect me with Andrew, to help me fortify my, inside, my shelter from the evilness. Maybe it's not a bomb that's going to hit. Maybe it's a spiritual, a shelter to protect my soul and my family's soul. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I have no idea how to do it. I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook, church-wise, and Men of Christ and all that, and everybody has their own take on everything, and it does not feel right to me. I've been to a couple different churches, and nothing feels right to me. I want to go. I haven't had the, I don't know how to say it. I haven't had the balls to go to the church with Andrew yet, because he is a devoted Catholic, and that's great, man. Catholics, they're serious. I think I'm afraid to do it, because if I dive into it, that's like a full 100% commitment. And there's some issues that I have with them, especially with the Pope and all that, especially what he's talking about. We need new commandments for, environment and stuff like that. That's nonsense to me. That's not God talking. I talk to God a lot in my head, and I need to find more people. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk to the people, is what I was getting at, because I'm always shy talking to people. But I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do, is talk to people about God. A lot of people, what I was getting at is God, he's loving, and he's peace, and he's, forgiving and everything. Yeah, he is, but he's also a very just God. Imagine having a parent that was just, oh yeah, it's okay, it's alright, you'll be alright, it's alright, whatever. That's not God, man. Don't be that person. In my eyes, God is, you did something bad, you need to face the consequences, and you need to figure it out. You need to learn. If you don't teach your kids how to learn, how to fall and get back up on their own, nothing's going to happen. If you give your child everything they want, and, life's all good and dandy, they're going to want more. They're going to, be a little crybaby. They're not going to know how to follow the path. That was my issue for a while, and it took me a lot of bad things in my life to figure that out, is I'm supposed to be on a path and actually try with it. People just, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, man, yeah, I'm going to be saved, sure. And that's it, or God's love, God loves everybody, God loves gays and straights and whatever. And I know very specifically in the Bible it says that like man and woman were created for each other, and everything else is an abomination. And people dressing up as fucking dogs and all this nasty stuff. A big thing that I have with Christians, very controversial, I guess, but that's the way I feel about it, and I think it's true. A lot of people say, Satan, stay away from him. Don't talk to him. Don't believe a word he says. Don't do anything like that. But how many people actually pray not to Satan, but for him? Does that make sense to anybody? How many people say, why can't you just change your ways? Why can't you just see that God is awesome and wants to help? I think everybody can be saved. I truly, truly think everybody could be saved if you mean it, if you truly mean it. You can say, oh yeah, I'm sorry, whatever, dude. God knows that you're lying or you're not true about it. But I think even the devil, even if he was truly sorry for what he's done, that he could be saved. And if everybody started wanting him to be a better person and a better angel, whatever you want to call him, I think he could change too. I think he could be forgiven. I truly, truly do. Maybe we're here to save him, because if we save him, we save everybody. There won't be any more darkness without the devil, without the negativity that he or she or whatever produces on us. If that makes sense to anybody, let me know. It's very it's hard to talk about because people don't really quite understand what I mean by that. I'm not saying pray to him. I'm pray for him. You know, just like you pray for your enemy. Pray for bad things to go away. Pray for everybody, not just your family. For your neighbor, for the asshole down the road, you know, for the dude that does a burnout in front of your house every single freaking night at 11 o'clock at night. Pray for everybody. Nobody's perfect. Everybody messes up. You know, if you mess up one time and you're screwed and you're not going to be forgiven, then what's the point? But that's my 2 cents on that. I truly feel like talking about God is the most important thing right now. From prepping wise to securing food for the winter, global starvation, wars and famines. We are going down that path. But we can get out of it if we all come together. If everybody just comes together and focuses on love and helping each other. And get out of that herd mentality of following whatever the freaking news says. We don't need that, man. They've been hurting us for years and years and years, man. Like, there's every 20 years a new population arises. It takes them 20 years to focus in on each generation. You know, they started with the radio and the news and all that stuff and the TV, and they could tell people what to believe and advertisements and showing everybody what to believe from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, 2000s. You know, it's been 60, 70 years since they've had this technology for the masses of people. And now with the cell phones, everybody's on, oh, you see what they say, oh, you see what they say, oh, look at this, oh. They're so focused on it, man. They're focused on yourself and how you look and how you feel. And it's not all about you. It's about your neighbor. It's about your, you know, everybody put together. But it only takes every 20 years for a baby to become an adult to, you know, shape society. Every 20 years, a new batch of people come out. And they've had plenty of time to do it. They've had plenty of time to, you know, make everybody think whatever they want. And it's not them. When I say them, I don't mean like that person specifically. It is the darkness. It's the darkness that consumes them, that shows them what to do. You know, like a serial killer, man. They think in their eyes that it's a good thing to do. I'm supposed to do this. And it's not them thinking it. It's the darkness in them. Everybody has darkness. You can let it take a hold, or you can overpower it. So a lot of people, where I think like alcoholism, I don't think that is a disease. I think that is a weak mindset. Yes, physically, you are addicted to something, but there's been many, many, many cases of people getting over alcoholism and really bad diseases and all kinds of stuff because they overpower it with their mind. You know, people all the time have bad shit happen to them, and you can get down in a funk and depressed and, oh, my life sucks and blah, blah, blah. A lot of people think of like how the cup is either half empty or half full. I don't think like that. I think of, how can I figure out a way to add more liquid to the cup? So I don't have to worry about being half full or half empty. Or let me see if I can find another cup that is full that I can fill mine up with. Think of life like that. Not just so negative all the time. People are so paranoid and scared that they're going to look bad or they're going to be embarrassed or, you know, with what's going on in the world, they're not going to be prepared for it. You're as prepared now as you're ever going to be. Period. If you were going to do something, you would have done it a long time ago. It is what it is. You're exactly where you're supposed to be in this life. No matter what they say, oh, you still have time, yeah, you still have time until you don't have time. That's the way I see it. Get prepared for it. Save your money, your food, your water, or whatever. Build your life the way that you see fit. and strive to that. Like everybody, a lot of preppers and a lot of homesteaders and stuff like that. Like I would love that. I could see myself on a little 2 or 3 acre farm with a cow maybe and some chickens and a garden and chopping firewood. That would be ideal. That's everybody that's watched these kind of channels. That is their ideal thing. But it's not reality for a lot of people. Do what you can where you're at with what you have. That is the best thing that you can do right now. And when a new opportunity arises, go for it. Take a chance. Leap. Have faith. That's what I did when I left my job. And I took a hell of a pay cut, man. Like a lot. A big ass pay cut. But I work for myself and I'm a lot happier. Bills are still paid. Big thing is I don't blow money now. Before I don't know, I made anywhere from like 92,000. I think the highest I ever made was like 104, 106. But that was like no time with my family. Terrible, tired all the time, felt like shit, and the money's still gone because we blew it with the stupid stuff. And it was a great learning experience for me growing up. Now that I make less and I work for myself, I can see where everything goes. I don't have to worry about all the big stuff because we got rid of a bunch of subscriptions. That's another thing that people have to worry about is subscriptions or Patreon channels or Disney Plus or whatever. All these stupid things that you have. Like all the information is free on YouTube or Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever. Or go to the library. Books are free. You can still rent those. Check them out. Read them. Write them down. People are just so lazy that I'd rather pay, like buy my course and you'll learn how to survive, or you'll learn how to start a drop shipping course for only $29.99. Even though they charge a hell of a lot more than that. My point is, everything is free at the library or online. Stop wasting your money. Stop blowing it. Do what you're supposed to do for yourself and for your family. What you know is in your heart that you're supposed to do. And I apologize for rambling on this long about this, but something in my heart tells me that I need to talk to people. I'm not great at it. I know I'm not, but I don't really care. It's not the point. I'm not trying to be the glamour, the fake unicorn bullshit thing, man. I don't want to be that person. And I don't like people that are like that, where it's all, look at all the cool shit in life, look at all the new high-tech gear I have kind of thing, and you don't need to live like that. All you need to do is have what works for you and make it work. That's it. Live life, be happy, enjoy your family, enjoy your life, and, just read the Bible. Pray for your enemies. Pray for peace on the world, because it's up to you and me, not the government, not the people in power, not the pharmaceutical industry, not the war industry. They're looking for one thing only. It's not money, it's power. It's control. Money does not mean anything to people that can print it whenever they want. It is the power. Like Bill Gates does not care about money. It's not about money. It is about power and control. People need to understand that. They have you and me chasing dollars all our life. For what? To be stuck in a rat race in a system. They have all the money they want in the world. They don't care about money. These big corporations, they don't care about money, man. They care about the power. They do it. They care about money to a point till they get to it. Once they're there, it's not about how much money I can make. It's about how much power and control. How much can I twist it to make it work for me and my agenda? Get out of that agenda. Start your own agenda. And go this way with it instead of that way. Because their way is not going very... Might go far in this world. But once you once you get up to here and you die, it's going straight down. You build yours up. When you die, you go up. That's the way you want to do it. That is what I want to talk about. That's what I want to focus on more than anything on my channel. Is about what you can do to enlighten yourself and your family, to enlighten your life to be happy. Whether it's working for yourself, you're praying. I would love to learn. I would love to talk to more people about praying. Finding ways to connect with people, with God. That's truly how I feel. That people need to come together and stop being afraid to be a Christian or believing in God. That's the biggest thing right now in this world. Is people need to come together and pray to God and pray for your enemy. Anyway, I want to have another video because this one's really freaking long. Totally different, about Biden and what's going on with him and his family and how all that's connected with Jeffrey Epstein. I got some more research to do. I'm hopefully coming out with that maybe tomorrow or something like that. But he is connected to a lot more than you think, and a lot more people. Connected, related, all kinds of good shit. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night.